Hello YouTube, it's Carlos the Rook, and I'm bringing you round 3 from World Open 2026 that I played last week during the July 4th weekend. And in round 3, I'm playing John Beaudry. He's rated 1761 and I'm 1667. So I got the white pieces. I start off E4. He goes D5, Scandinavian defense. E captures, queen captures. Knight C3 hitting the queen next to the queen where it's going to go. The queen faces all the way back to her original square. Bring the bishop out, and he goes C5. So C5 is new. I'm already out of book. I've never seen C5 before. So I decided normal development, knight F3. He goes knight C6. And here I go A3, and my idea is to keep the knight from coming to a B4 because I thought his bishop, was going to come to F5, and he's going to try and hit the C2 square with a knight there. So I just want to prevent any tactics like this. He go A6, preventing my knight from coming into his side, and I go Queen E2, just lining the queen up with the king. He go E6, and now I go A4, which was a wasted move. I really didn't. I was trying to stop B5, but if B5, bishop A2, and I'm okay. So it was not necessarily right to stop B5. But my concern was B5, bishop A2, followed by C4, and my light square bishop is just locked out. So he goes B6, and here I go D3, getting ready to develop the dark square bishop. Bishop B7. And I go bishop F4. It looks like a great square. The knight comes out to F6. And here, I decide to castle. I normally cross castle, but since I went A4, I decided to castle in this one. He go bishop E7. And I go H3, keeping the knight out. He castles. And now I go rook on F to D1, lining the rook up with the queen. He go bishop D6. And I go queen D2. I don't want to trade and allow his queen to develop. I want him to trade and allow my queen to develop. So we go queen c7. Now I'm forced to trade. He takes back. And now I go d4, trying to open up the position. He brings the rook over to the file. I capture. He captures with the queen. And here I go queen e2, protecting the bishop. And I got real problems. His knight's going to come in here to b4. And my queen is overloaded. I got to protect the knight on f3 so he don't bust open to my king side pawns, and I got to protect the bishop. So I took about a 20-30 minute think here trying to figure out how I wanted to do this. So he goes knight b4, and the bishop's hitting my knight. The queen's hitting this bishop, and my queen's overloaded now. So I just go bishop d3. So if he takes the knight, I can take back with the queen. If you take this bishop, I can take back with the rook. And you take it with the rook, I take back with the queen. So everything's protected. I'm giving up my bishop in order to make sure I protect everything. And here he captures with the knight. I take back with the rook. He takes, I take. And now he goes h6. I guess he wanted to keep my knight out of his side, but my knight is not coming there. So I felt like that was a wasted move. And now I just bring the rook over to lock in on the d file, saying the d file is mine. He brings the rook to c8, and his idea is whenever I move this knight, this pawn on c2 is going to be vulnerable because it's going to be hit twice. So I go ahead and move this knight to protect that pawn and to protect the g2 pawn, so there's no shenanigans going on that way. And now he goes queen b4. I can't go b3 because the knight falls. So I bring the rook back over to protect the position. And now he goes knight e4, putting pressure on the knight. I take, he take, I take, he take. And now I bring the rook back over to protect this pawn. It's protected twice. So we simplified, and the position is completely drawn. So there's really nothing here unless either one of us press for a win and make a mistake. So we go rook c4. I just go b3, protecting that pawn. The rook comes in to c3 to lock in. And I go king f1 to start bringing my king up. It would have been more correct to go f3 first, beating the bishop back and relieving the pressure on the c2 pawn, then bringing the king over. And now he goes bishop d5, and his tactic is he's going to take this b3 pawn. If I take back, the rook falls. So I bring the rook over to protect. He goes back to e4, and I repeat the position. Like I said, the position is drawn. I don't want to draw, but I'm not going to force, trying to force a win and make a bad move. That's not what I'm going to do. So he goes b5. He doesn't want to repeat the position. He's trying to play for a win. I take, he take, and now I go king e2. He started bringing his king over. f3 hitting the bishop. The bishop fades back. And now I go king d2 hitting the rook. The rook fades back. So I done beat him out of my position. Now it's safe to develop my knight. He bring his king over to e7. And here I go rook a1. My idea is to come in on rook a7 and come in behind him. But he doesn't allow that. He comes and challenges the rook. We trade rooks. And here I bring my king over to this pawn. He bring his king over. I hit the pawn first. He bring his bishop to protect. So here I'm thinking. He has 4 on 3 on the king side. I got 2 on 1 on the queen side. I want to make a pass pawn. But if I'm able to capture this pawn, then I got 2-0 fast break. So I just need to reposition my knight to c3 in order to take the pawn. And his king gets held back here trying to defend if he's trying to defend with his king. So that's what I end up trying to do. I go knight b2. And here you play f6. The engine doesn't like that. That's a bad move. It wanted f5. And now I go knight d1. King e5. He's making a run for my pawns. And I go knight c3. Hitting the pawn here. And he goes ahead. And here, the only move is king c5. And the idea is to hit the bishop. The bishop goes back. Knight captures. And the bishop doesn't capture back because there's a 2 on 1 fast break. You just go king g3. Knight c7 hitting the bishop again. Bishop go d7. And then it's b4. King captures. King d6 hitting the bishop again. Bishop c8. b5. King captures f3. Knight a6. e5. King c7. And now the bishop either got to take the knight and you queen, or has to vacate the square and you queen. So this was the correct way of playing the position out for white. And that's a lesson in in-game study because I didn't play it correctly. I captured the pawn with the knight, and now it's completely a draw again. So you go king g3. I go knight d4. Bishop fades back to d7. And now I move king c5. He goes e5. And I go king d6 hitting the bishop. And my idea is if you take my knight, I take your bishop. And then this pawn is uncontested and runs. All these other pawns have another pawn in front of them. So I'm the only one with a passed pawn. And so the agent says he just needs to play bishop c8 in the position is level. He holds here. I'm going to have to move my knight somewhere, and he's good. However, instead, John kamikazes the bishop on h3. Hold on. He kamikazes the bishop on h3. I take back. He takes the knight. And now I start pushing. He takes the f3 pawn. I'm pushing. Pawn's got to push. I'm pushing p down the board. Now he swings his king over. His idea is to pick up my c2 pawn and then promote his d pawn. But that's not going to happen. I go b6 pushing again. And when he go king d2, I go king d5. If you take, I take. And my king come get back here and stop this pawn from rolling. So I'm going to queen first, and you're not going to be able to queen. So he goes d3. I capture. He capture. And then I go b7, pushing in. He goes f5. I queen. He goes G5. I check the king. He goes King E3. I capture that pawn. King E2. I go Queen G4 check. He moves over. I step in. King F1. And he doesn't give in here because he's trying to go for a stalemate. It's $12,000 first place. So he doesn't give in. He's trying to get a stalemate and stay alive. It's only round 3. So you go H5. And here I go Queen G3. H4. And Queen F2 checkmate. So this is a very good game. I was able to get the win, close out. So round 1 win, round 2 loss, round 3 win. Thank you for watching. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. It's absolutely free. Tell all your friends and family about it, and let's grow the channel. Have a nice day. Bye.